gentlemen, and welcome to another game of League of Legends Getting Out of Elohel. This will be my first non-live commentary, so bear with me as I go through it. I'd like to welcome you all again, and I hope that you will be enjoying this video. I tried something new in this video, even though I like to show the full games, but I noticed that people are not really interested in watching a full-length game. Instead, they are more interested in watching the highlights of a game. In this game, I picked Jarvan. I mean, I don't have a specific role to play with. It's solo queue, so you always play with the hand that you're dealt. So I like to jungle with Jarvan. I think that Jarvan is a very good jungler. He's very mobile and he provides a lot of CC to the team. He has, of course, he has 3 CC abilities, which makes him devastating for the enemy team. I always try to play Jarvan as more of a tanky man mode version. I know that a lot of people might say that it's better to pick a DPS item for Jarvan, like Spirit of the Elder Lizard. I tend to agree that the Spirit of the Elder Lizard does decent amount of DPS on Jarvan, but in games like the game that I'm playing right now, as you can see, my team is not that tanky. I mean, they are all squishy and they're all depending on me to be the sole frontliner, so I have to build at least full tank. So my choice for a jungling item is basically Spirit of the Blue Golem. For runes and masteries, I take flat damage runes and consensuses. I think this helps Jarvan with his Q, as it provides decent amount of DPS, and I also take flat armor and magic resist runes. For masteries, I take a defensive jungle tree, which is basically 921. I like Jarvan in clearing camps. I mean, I max his Q for the tips that it provides. At level, when Q is maxed at level 3 or at level 5, you can actually bounce twice to the same E, to the same flag, due to its slow cooldown. I don't really need to go like an offensive tree on Jarvan, because his passive is enough to clear the big creeps in the camps. I always start jungling wherever bot lane is, as they provide the best help. Even though, like, in the new season, you don't really require that much help, because you have because the experience you gain from camps is decreased. So basically you have to smite your first camp, either take wolves or wraiths, whichever is closest, and then clear the second buff. This is how you ensure that you will have level 3 as soon as possible and you'll be ready to gank. As Jarvan, ganking is not that hard and not that easy as well. You need to time it perfectly. If you see an enemy overextending, then flanking them from behind or from their jungle is the first thing to do. I usually go in with the red buff and try to slow them down, burn their flash, and then use my EQ combo. If your team were pushing, it's very essential that you have wards to see when the enemy jungler is trying to gank. By doing that, you can hide in the bushes and counter gank, which could provide your team with very essential kills. Always when starting jungling with Jarvan, I take E because it gives me passive attack speed and armor, and also like the active speed is also good on cleaning the camps. Yeah, I mentioned about the Q, that if you max it first, you can bounce twice to the same target. So I mentioned that. I want to also emphasize more on the jungler knowing which items to buy. Getting kills as a jungler does not mean that you need to go DPS. You need to build more tanky so you can provide your team with the best support. I've lost many games where our jungler was 5-0 and he went flat AD items, and we ended up losing the game because there was no frontliner. He always died first, and then he started blaming us for feeding the enemy team, which is frankly stupid if you think about it, because the jungler has the best support role in the game. I mean, the jungler is the one that makes plays, even though trading in lanes depends on the skill level of the players. Also, the decisions that the jungler made could alter the way this game is going. I'm also gonna talk about the trinkets from Season 4. I find it essential as a jungler to take the sweeping lens, because many times when you're ganking, there should probably be a ward. So if the gank failed, you can at least take that ward and try to gank again. Also, the sweeping lens it helps in setting up for Baron or for Drake, or even checking if your blue is warded or your red is warded. A jungler does not need the vision trinket, because a jungler must buy wards. I understand that many players assume that the support role is to buy wards, but no, the support is not the only role that should buy wards, because the jungler needs to be warding the river to make sure that he can protect his team whenever there is a gank going on. As it seemed that Jarvan excels in ganking and providing his team with help in early game and mid game, and late game, if Jarvan takes a decision to go man mode, it could go either ways, but a good Jarvan will know when to go in and when to go out. Basically what I do with Jarvan is I always try to lock the backline of the enemy team with my ultimate, and then EQ out of it to protect my carries. This helps a lot in locking them away, and meanwhile, when my backline is trying to destroy their front line, I can provide them with essential help. This is always useful if you are the only frontliner in a team, but if you have another frontliner in a team, like Malphite for example, you should always try and protect your backline, your ADC or your AP carry. Now I'm just gonna commentate on the game, since I mentioned everything that I need to mention. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will try to be more organized next time, organize my thoughts. I tried to write everything down, but it sounded too automated, like I was a robot when I was speaking. I still feel like a robot when I'm speaking now, but let's see how it goes. As you can see here, we're trying to fight in the jungle, and I went in and our Jinx destroyed them alongside Midway. So as you can see, we took the second inner tower, and now we're taking the inhibitor tower. The enemy team cannot contest us because we have a really fast clearing. Like, we can destroy towers easily thanks to my passive and Jinx, and also Billy, and also passive of Oriana. Here I decided to go man mode, as you can see, and I made them back off, even though my team were pinging back. And again, triple kill, 4 jinx, and an ace, and this is the play that you ended the game with. As you can see, going and disturbing the enemy team always works. They don't know what to do when they see a man mode Jarvan coming in and just wrecking their lines with his passive and with his Q. I tried to end the game here, but ended up dying. Could have just hit the turret instead. But we're gonna end the game pretty soon because we already took the 2 Nexus towers. So the next team fight will determine who's gonna take this game home. I also want to talk about my usual build for Jarvan. I always like to start with the Spirit of the Blue Golem, then take Sunfire. Sunfire gives... I believe that Sunfire is one of the best tanky DPS items out there. It provides 40 magic damage per second, and it also gives you the health and armor that you need. And then I always build Spirit Visage because it gives me the best, gives me cooldowns, and it also gives me health and regeneration, but I didn't build it in this game. And in the end you can pick any tanky item. So as you can see, victory. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this commentary and give me tips on how can I improve my commentary and what to say. If you have any questions, please write in the comments below. Subscribe and